Hi, Ricardo. Thank you for coming in today.
Hi, Alex.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
That's good. So, before we start, I want you to know that anything we discuss today is going to be completely confidential. Do you have any questions about that? No? So, the last time we talked, we were discussing and you were brainstorming some different health behaviors that you've been thinking about. Are you comfortable with discussing one of these health behaviors today?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, what do you want to talk about today?
In particular, late night eating.
Late night eating. So late night eating is definitely an interesting topic because there are two different components. We have your sleep schedule and the things that you're actually eating when you're staying up later. So can you describe what late night eating looks like for you?
Eating basically after 10 o'clock at night. And typically when I'm eating is garbage. Like ice cream and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
So when you're staying up later, you're eating foods that you enjoy, but they're
Yeah.
you have your ice cream and your
Exactly.
peanut butter jelly sandwiches. So what I want to do first when we start to think about our health behaviors is I want to discuss some of the good things that come with your late night eating and some of the not so great things.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable with it, you can write them down or you can discuss. You want to write down?
Yeah, alright. Existing behavior. So when you say existing behavior pros, you mean like, could you be more specific?
Yeah, so when you're staying up later at night and you're eating later at night, what's making you want to continue doing this?
Okay. Well, the food.
Great, so do you want to share these out with me?
Yeah. So basically, the pros are that the food tastes good. It's something I enjoy. But I guess specifically is that I get to enjoy it while watching TV. And basically, nighttime is when I get to have the TV to myself. So I typically like to enjoy a snack or two along with it. The cons, though, obviously that I sleep right after, so I don't really get to work out what I eat. And 9 or 10 times out of 10, I'm eating junk and sugary treats, which aren't good for you or me.
Okay, so it sounds like some of the things that you're getting at right now is that you're enjoying the food that you're eating, and you're really taking the time for your quality time with yourself,
Yeah.
for yourself. But at the same time, you're recognizing that while you're staying up later and eating later, you feel like you're going to sleep right away, and this food is sitting in your stomach, and it doesn't really make you feel that great. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how important is it for you right now to decrease this behavior?
Considering it's spring, I would say it's an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
And why didn't you choose a lower number, like a 5 or a 6?
Well, like I was saying, because it's spring. Spring is the season where the weather starts to get warmer. You start wearing less and less layers of clothing, so I just kind of want to like look the part, be able to look good, feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So being at an 8, it sounds like you're pretty ready to, or it's very important for you to make this change right now. And some of the things that are important to you are getting ready for the summer and looking good and feeling good, which might accompany decreasing this behavior. So when we consider this and the pros and the cons that we've discussed previously, when we put all of these aspects together, it helps us really make a concrete plan.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do next is I want you to think about your replacement behavior. So maybe decreasing eating later at night, and what are some of the positive things that you would get out of decreasing this behavior and some of the negative things. So
Okay. Let's see.
great, can you share what you wrote?
So I wrote eating healthier. I would be eating healthier if I replaced the behavior or decreased it. And I would also be sleeping more and less lethargically. As for my cons, I wrote not having my me time, or at least in the sense I wouldn't be enjoying it in the same capacity.
Great. So you're recognizing that if you decreased your behavior, you feel that you would be eating healthier and you might be able to get to sleep a little earlier, you'd have more sleep time, and you would feel more energized when you woke up in the morning. But at the same time, which you mentioned before, something that's important to you is that you won't necessarily get the me time that you've been having and that you so enjoy. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how motivated would you say you are to make this change?
I'm gonna say a 9, a 10. Well, 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
So what would it take for you to get to a 10?
It would take, I guess, once I see my fellow peers or friends with, you know, really sculpted abs, let's say, that would be a good motivation to kind of like get to it.
So it sounds like you might be motivated by those around you and your environment. So have you tried anything in the past, or what are some things that were successful in the past when you were able to maybe decrease your eating late at night, or if you weren't eating so much at night?
Well, but it's funny, I haven't been playing as much basketball as I used to. Mm-hmm. And I guess this is like kind of like a cyclical thing that happens with the season. I play basketball less in the winter, and I would typically play 4 times a week. And by the time I get home, I'm already too tired to stay up late, so I would kind of go to sleep instead of munching on extra food at night. And basketball would always help me stay in shape, as well as decrease my affinity towards eating late and eating unhealthy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So it sounds like basketball is something that's pretty important to you and that's helped you in the past. So when we consider everything that we've discussed so far and the things that have helped you in the past, including basketball, it sounds like basketball is something that you value, and you also value your me time, your you time. Yeah. And at the same time, you enjoy eating foods that taste good and that make you feel better. So when you combine all of these aspects, is there a way that you think you can consider these together when making a plan?
Yeah, actually, I guess, I mean, the easy way that I could see it in my head would be to play more basketball. I think would be my first step per se. Mm-hmm. Just because like by playing more, I would be more active and be less likely to just internally more motivated to eat right, so I don't tire myself out as fast. And yeah.
So it sounds like you're willing to play more basketball, which might help you decrease your late night eating and staying up later at night. That's great. So when we start to make goals towards this, the best way to make a goal is to be specific. So you want to play more basketball, and also it might be helpful to set a parameter. So how often do you want to play basketball, and maybe how much time, and with whom you've said that you
play with friends.
Exactly. So when you consider all of this, these are aspects that might help you make a concrete goal that'll help you towards making this behavior change. Okay. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about today?
I guess it's how do I get to that first step then? Because I know that I want to play basketball, right? But it's kind of like overcoming that hump. How do I do that?
So when you're trying to overcome that hump, you really want to think about what's holding you back and what's going to push you forward. And sometimes it's just getting there, right? Right now you probably have some different perceived barriers in your mind. So what we could do is we can discuss some of the things that might be holding you back from going to play basketball. Do you have any ideas?
I would say before it used to be that the weather was colder, and I guess I could just fall into a pattern and a rhythm. Mm-hmm. But now that the weather's warm, I don't really have that same excuse.
So maybe with the changing weather, you might find yourself wanting to go play more basketball. So what you can do is you can, think positively, and you can set a plan for saying, I'm going to play basketball on this date.
Yeah, that's right. Because like I play with my friends all the time, and if I tell my friend that we're gonna play next Wednesday, he could hold me accountable because I know he plays every single day.
Great. So when you leave here today, what's the next step that you think you might take?
I'm gonna text that friend.
Great. All right. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Mm-mm.
No? Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.